Thank you for coming to my presentation. Today I want to present my research with the title Analysis of Physics Textbooks Used in Senior High School for Insertion of the Nature of Science. Now we begin to next slide. Introduction. High school physics textbooks play a very important role in physics teaching and learning. Textbook must convey a valid conception of physics enterprise. Physics textbooks place too much emphasis on terminology and equation, which result in students memorizing a large amount of information and giving it bad on the test. Now, let's do next slide. Previous research report related to physics textbook. Banchong and Song 2018 state that experimental ideas presented in physics textbooks are unable to employ as a reduction in employing scientific knowledge to students. B. Almost 50% of the physical books analyzed are sufficient and lacking in presenting experimental idea. And the next researcher, Wilkinson, 1990, conclude that most physics textbooks published between 1987 and 1997 emphasize the theme of science as a body of knowledge and less emphasis on presenting physics material as a way of thinking. Okay, next slide. Nature of Science or NOS. To date, researchers have not agreed on the definition of the nature of science. Some researchers consider Nous as one component of epistemology, as a way to know and believe in the value inherent in science and the influence of society, culture, and technology on science. However, in this present study, Nous present in four themes associated with philosophical, sociological, psychological, and historical aspects of science. Okay, next slide. Conceptual framework for textbooks analysis. The most critical aspect of any analysis of information in the conceptual framework used to guide the inquiry. Some frameworks address the insertion of subject matter, content and difficult content, and others epistemology and orientation on the text. Okay. Conceptual framework for textbooks analysis. There are a variety of conceptual frameworks for doing textbook analysis, each designed to examine printed material from particular perspective. And conceptual framework in the study address the insertion of nouns in subject matter contents. For theme of nouns adapted from Chipeta dan Filman. 1. Science of body knowledge, science as way of investigating, 3. Science of way of thinking, 4. Science interaction and technology on society. And next slide. Purpose and procedures. The purpose of the study was to analyze two high school physics textbooks to determine the emphasis given to four themes of nouns. A. Science as body of knowledge. B. Science as a way of investigating. C. Science of a way of thinking. And D. Science of interaction with technology. To have the intended purpose, a content analysis procedure was performed. The instrument used to analyze the two textbooks was developed by using the four themes and its indicator adapted from Chipeta and Filman. 3. Writers independently collaborate to analyze as to which aspect of science belongs. Next, the rationale of the two books to be analyzed. First, two books are based on the 2013-2020 national curriculum. The two textbooks of fulfill the national standard. The subject matter in the two books are arranged on core competency and basic competency, and two texts also considered to be widely used and other in Bengkulu City. And this table 2 summarizes the identities of two books in subject of study. So there are two books here. Textbook A, a quote for Erlangga Publisher. Textbook B, a quote for Yudhishthira Publishing. Next, data analysis. The percentage of inter-rater agreement for analysis of two high school physics textbook among two raters is computed by following equation. And this is equation. I can use it for analyzing the data. And I will also use reliability in the study was determined by the use of the Cohen-Kappa statistic. And this is the equation. And finding and discussion in the table 3. Say you see here. And there are some finding here. And the next finding and also looks this. And the last slide summary. Both of the books textbook analyzed devoted to more than the learning material to A. Science as a body of knowledge, B. A science of way of investigating, and science and its interaction with technology society tended to be neglected. And the physics textbook used in the senior high school classroom must contain a reasonable balance of 4 notes deemed to indicate a good physics textbook because a textbook provides the primary learning resources on the other detail. So this is my presentation, and thank you for coming to this presentation. Thank you very much.